Hey, what's going on everyone? Nick here with my review for The Predator. This is the long-awaited sequel to the Predator franchise, in which we haven't actually gotten a film since 2010. So it's been nearly a decade since the last standalone Predator film. Before that, we got the two crossover AVP movies and the original pair of films. So this film takes place 30 years after the events of Predator 1, which was set in Valverde. The government knows about Predator activity on Earth, and they've set up a whole unit to track them. Boyd Holbrook's character, Quinn McKenna, stumbles across a Predator while on a mission in Mexico, and because of this, he gets interrogated and debriefed by this government agency, and that's how he runs into the rest of the characters, which are called the Loonies, played by Thomas Jane, Keegan-Michael Key, Trevante Rhodes, Augusto Agaria, and Alfie Allen. So with this review, I'm going to kind of break down some of the key points that I felt about the film, the stories, characters, how the Predators were in this movie, the humor and action, and give my final thoughts and score. So as for the story of this film, it does take place in present day. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of government activity tracking Predators coming to Earth, because in the film they mention how their incursions are becoming more regular, because what we had heard about originally in the Predator franchise is that they only come during the hot seasons, but now due to global warming on Earth, it's becoming much more commonplace for Yautja to come to the planet. The storyline in this film is fine, but it doesn't really feel like a Predator plotline. It feels more like something out of another alien invasion film or something like that. There's no element of the hunt in the film that we come to recognize from other Predator films, and it also moves much too fast in my opinion. I felt like the pacing with this film gave you no time to breathe really, which could be a good thing and also could be a bad thing, because there's not really any point in the film that's necessarily boring, but there's not much of the story actually being fleshed out beyond a couple of conversations here and there, but really characters don't really get a lot of time to kind of talk about what's happening, which I fondly remember from the first two Predator films and even the 2010 movie. The characters are also actually pretty interesting in this film, although they aren't as fleshed out as I would have liked them, because in all previous Predator films we get to know the characters quite well, and while it is sad when some of these characters do meet their end in the film, I still don't feel like I really connect to a lot of them. Even though there are really funny sequences involving all of the characters in the Loonies, and Agent Traeger played by Sterling K. Brown, who is kind of the human antagonist. As for the Predators in this film, we have one who's kind of a normal Predator, dubbed the Fugitive, who's running away from something on Earth, and we also have the big bad Upgrade, which we've seen in a lot of the marketing for this film. The whole idea is that the hunt has evolved. Something is bigger, something is badder, and that is the Upgrade, who is also called the Ultimate Predator or the Assassin. I honestly didn't think that either of them were too bad. There were some complaints here and there, but I really did like both of the Predator characters in this film. I thought they both had unique aspects and unique traits to them, and it really made them stand apart from previous Yautja that we've encountered on film and in other media like comics and books, so not really many complaints with the Fugitive or the Upgrade. Now, for something that a lot of fans had worried about for the film before it even came out, because we've heard rumors of test screenings and discussion behind the scenes about how much humor should be in this film, because we do know that Shane Black directed it and co-wrote the script. There is a lot of humor in this film. Some of it lands quite well, but some of it doesn't really work and just kind of falls flat. It is a very funny film, definitely trying to play up the humor aspect much more than any of the other Predator films. It doesn't really ever take itself too seriously, I guess you could say, and I think fans will either like that or not like that. There is a lot of action in this movie. Like I mentioned, it has like a crazy quick pace, never lets up, it's unrelenting, bunch of action sequences that are actually pretty cool here and there. So as for my final thoughts on this film, I definitely didn't like it as much as I was hoping to, but so much of the kind of build up for the sequel, because it was announced I believe in 2014 or 15 that Shane Black had signed on. They were actually going to make this movie, and with all the kind of behind the scenes drama that's happened over the past couple years, I was really hoping that this would be a film that I would walk out and be like, man, I love this. It was such a great entry to the Predator franchise. It really holds a candle to the first two films, but honestly, I can't say that. I think at best this is a 6 out of 10 for me. It's just an okay movie. It's nowhere near as good in my book as the first two Predator films, and it's probably about on par in my my personal opinion with the 2010 movie, as I'm not a crazy big fan of that one either. It is very fun and enjoyable ride, and some of the characters are really interesting, so I guess if you go in with that mindset, kind of lower your expectations, just go in, have a fun time with it, and you might walk out having a good experience. So if you have seen the film, post your thoughts down in the comments below. Please keep this one spoiler free. If you guys want me to do a spoiler review or kind of spoiler discussion or something, I might do that based on the kind of feedback I get, I guess, if comments and people want it. I know I might do a talk with Mr. H Reviews, so if that's something you're interested in, be sure to stay tuned for that over on his channel, and I'll definitely be having more videos breaking down elements of the film over the coming days and weeks. For more updates on everything Predator and pop culture, be sure to subscribe to HN Entertainment. HN Entertainment.